Thank you very much, and welcome to section 2 of this course. We're still looking at PHP, but now on the advanced level, right? Let's start with loops. Now, what is loop? As usual, we're going to talk about the concept, then the types, and then how to use it and when to use it, right? Now, in our last couple lectures, we talked about arrays, right? We said arrays, they keep more than one values, and whilst variables keep just one value, right? Now, when you have a lot of values inside a variable, right, and you want to go through them, because if you have a lot of variables in let me try and sketch something out to show you what I mean. All right, so we have a table like so, right? This table will not look exactly like a table, but I hope you're gonna get the concept. All right, we have a table like so, right? And here is username, right? And here is email. We got the email here, then we got let's say the password here, right? And this database primarily has a lot of information, right? Now, if you try to fetch data from, there's data here, there's data here, there's no data here, there's 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 no data here, but there's data here. If you try to fetch information from here, what you need to do is you need to tell PHP to go through the table in something like in a circular motion, right? You need to go from here, get the username, come to email, come to password, come down, go back to the next user, come down, go back to the other user. So now this action is what is called loop, because it's looping through. If you look at the English explanation for what a loop is on the web, it says it's a structure or a series or a process, the end of which is connected to the beginning. All right, so that is in a noun form, and in the verb form it's simply something that circles, right? So it goes this way, comes back to where it started from, and goes again, comes back to where it started from. And that's the concept that was applied to loops in PHP. All right, so basically you're going to be using loops to loop through your information, your data, so that you can perform certain tasks with it, right? So that is basically the concept of what a loop is, right? Now let's talk about the types. There are a lot. We have the do, the for, the while, the do while, and like I've been telling you, you don't have to learn all these things at once, at a time. It's going to confuse you. You're going to be wondering which one should I use, which one works best. All right, now for the sake of this course, all right, and for the sake of my teaching methodology, which I think works, I believe works, I should say, we're going to look at the for each loop, right? Because you're going to be using this a lot more than all the other loops. All right, and as soon as you familiarize yourself with this one, as soon as you get to know how to use, and this doesn't apply to just this concept in programming, as soon as you get to know how to use one type, all right, under a concept, and you understand how it works perfectly, the rest will come easy for you. All right, because you already know the concept, you already know how to use it, when to use it. All right, so we're just going to look at the for each loop, and the for each loop is basically used to loop through arrays. All right, now I think I've got an array here. Yes, we created an array here. Now let me bring this down here. All right, so this is an array of called users, right? And this array has key values here, right? Key values, and then the keys are full name, nationality, current address. All right. I shouldn't have deleted that table I created, but let me just go ahead and design this once more, and this will look more ugly than the first one though. But we have this table here, right? Now let's pretend that this values we have here is coming from this table. So check this. Now the full name will be the names of the columns, right? Will be the column head. This will be nationality, right? And then this will be what would this be? This will be current address. You see that? And this will be age. All right. So the values, the key values here are being represented by these ones, right? You can see from here. All right. This is current address and this is age. Now, when you want to loop through your data like this, you will have to, and you're using the for each loop. This is something like this happens. I hope you get the concept from here. All right. I need some space to type, so I will just remove this. All right. Now, this is how to use the for each loop now, right? When you want to loop through these, and again, we are assuming that these are coming from the database, right? So, and for each is a function, right? For each, all right, then you open your bracket. All functions go in a bracket, all right? When we come to functions, we'll look at that. Now you say for each, all right, users, you call the name. We are now looking at how to use this, how to use a loop, okay? When you call the name of the loop, the name of the array, all right? You go as for each name of the array as. Now you have to give a name to the keys, all right? You have to choose a name, and you create another variable. So we can say for each users as user, and usually this will be the singular form of the plural form of the name of the array. All right. So if you have an array called tables, you will say for each tables as table. All right. If you have an array that has information about customers, you will say for each customers, right, as customer. Right. So now we are saying for each customers, for each users as user, right? We can just echo something like this: user, right? User. And when we save this, we go to our browser, we can see all the values, right? Now let me put some break tags here so that it can look a bit nicer, right? So you understand what is happening here right now, right? You can see these are all the values in the array, all right? And we're fetching it, all right? Now, if I should put an S here, which means now we are using the name of the array itself, not the key values, all right? And then I go to the browser. Sorry, I gotta give me a sec. So we get an error, right? We get an error on line 21 that says we can't use the name of the array now, because now we are looping through the arrays, and we chose our own key value to represent these key values, all right? So we just call the name of the key value, all right? And then we save it, and then when we go to the browser, we see the values coming out, right? Now, when do we use this? All right, this is how to use it. Now, when do we use it? We can use this when we fetch data from a database. All right, when we have when we have a excuse me, when we have an array, all right, that is keeping, like, this is my SQLi underscore fetch, right, array, right? We have something like this. We have a database that is we have an array that is keeping an array of the data that we are fetching from our query result, right? Now if you want to loop through the data, you can use this for each. Now you will say for each, all right, into bracket, for each rows as row, like so. All right, now that means you've now fetched all the data that came in through the result. You fetched it as an array, you passed it to a variable called rows, which is now an array, all right, and then you are using this for each loop to loop through all the information you are, even if it's 1,000 or 1,000,000 data, right? You can loop through each one by one, all right? And this is basically the whole concept, right? I hope you understand what loops are and how they are used and when they're used. All right, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Just post it down there and I'll reply to your questions. Okay, so I'll see you on the next video. And if you don't understand it now, you're gonna understand it later when we start using it in a practical sense. Okay, thank you.